Welcome to Bharat News on Bharat TV. I'm Deepika Zucchi, and here are today's top stories from around the globe. In breaking news, the Pentagon has announced a $988 million aid package for Ukraine, aiming to bolster its fight against Russia. President-elect Trump announces plans to end U.S. involvement in Syria's civil war, signaling a major foreign policy shift. Trump's transition team fast-tracks DOJ agreements for seamless appointee vetting. FBI accused of abusing financial surveillance systems in explosive House Judiciary report. New York mourns as 17-year-old migrant is fatally stabbed in a shocking attack. And in news from India, Pope Francis elevates an Indian priest to cardinal, praised by PM Modi as a national honor. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh bolsters naval ties during a Russia visit. Rahul Gandhi slams tax policies, accusing favoritism towards billionaires. Farmers march towards Delhi, demanding justice and reforms. And in international news, Syria's Assad regime collapses after a swift rebel offensive, ending a 50-year dynasty and reshaping the nation's political future. In breaking news, the Pentagon announced a $988 million aid package for Ukraine on Saturday, including ammunition for high-mobility artillery, rocket systems, HIMARS, and drones. The funds drawn from the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative aim to procure new equipment rather than deplete existing U.S. weapon stocks. Since 2022, the U.S. has provided over $62 billion in security assistance to Ukraine amid its conflict with Russia. The announcement coincided with President-elect Donald Trump's meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Paris. Zelensky described the discussion as good and productive and expressed gratitude for U.S. support, emphasizing the need for a just resolution to the war. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, speaking at the Reagan National Defense Forum, reiterated the importance of aiding Ukraine to uphold international stability. As the Biden administration nears its end, the aid package signals continued U.S. commitment to Ukraine. However, the incoming Trump administration's stance on foreign aid raises questions about the future trajectory of U.S. involvement. Trump signals U.S. withdrawal from Syria amid opposition gains. President-elect Trump declared Syria's ongoing conflict not our fight, pledging to end U.S. involvement. His remarks come amid an unprecedented offensive and win by opposition forces led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, capturing key cities like Hama and Homs and finally Damascus. The advance has brought rebels into Damascus and completely shifted the war's dynamics. The U.S. has long supported Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, but Trump's strategy could leave them vulnerable. Analysts suggest the move reflects Trump's focus on Turkey, which opposes Kurdish groups. Trump criticized Russian failures in Syria, linking its struggles to losses in Ukraine. Critics warn that U.S. withdrawal may destabilize the region, while supporters see it as fulfilling Trump's America First campaign promise. Experts believe the shift will reshape U.S. alliances in the Middle East. Trump transition team accelerates DOJ vetting agreement. President-elect Trump's transition team signed a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Justice to expedite FBI background checks for nominees. This agreement allows faster clearance for appointees, addressing concerns over delays. Critics have raised questions about the team's reliance on private vetting, bypassing traditional FBI screenings. Key GOP senators are divided, with some insisting on formal FBI checks, while others are open to alternative methods. The agreement also grants the transition team access to federal resources, streamlining preparations for implementing the America First agenda. Chief of Staff Susie Wiles emphasized the administration's readiness for day one governance. This step follows weeks of criticism over delays and unconventional vetting processes, underscoring the team's commitment to moving swiftly. FBI accused of financial data overreach without warrants. The House Judiciary Committee alleges the FBI exploited suspicious activity reports, SARs, to access Americans' financial data without warrants. The report claims the FBI manipulated SAR filings by banks, bypassing the Fourth Amendment's protections. SARs are typically used by banks to flag suspicious transactions, but officials reportedly pressured institutions to target individuals tied to specific political events like January 6, 2021. Critics argue this overreach represents a dangerous violation of privacy rights. The FBI denies misconduct, asserting that it adheres to legal processes and national security protocols. Lawmakers have called for stricter oversight of federal surveillance practices. The report highlights systemic concerns over unchecked access to financial data, sparking bipartisan demands for reform. Teen migrant stabbed to death in New York City, investigation underway. A 17-year-old migrant, Jeremy Colino, was fatally stabbed and an 18-year-old companion was injured in Lower Manhattan after being asked if they spoke English. When the teens replied they did not, they were attacked by 3 men, police said. Colino succumbed to his injuries while the surviving teen, stabbed in the arm, is in stable condition. The suspects fled on foot and are described as men in their 20s wearing distinct red and green clothing. Police recovered a knife at the scene, which will undergo forensic testing. The surviving victim believed a screwdriver was used in the attack. Authorities have launched a citywide investigation, offering no arrests so far. Mayor Eric Adams condemned the act, calling it a tragic reflection of growing violence. And in news from India, Indian priest elevated to cardinal in historic Vatican ceremony. In a proud moment for India, Pope Francis elevated an Indian priest to the rank of cardinal, a rare honor in the Catholic Church. Prime Minister Modi hailed the appointment, calling it a matter of great pride for the nation. The new cardinal has long been an advocate for interfaith dialogue and social justice. His elevation underscores the growing prominence of India's Catholic community in global religious leadership. The ceremony at the Vatican saw representation from diverse nations, highlighting the universality of the Church. The cardinal pledged to work for peace and harmony globally. Indian religious leaders across faiths have congratulated him, marking this as a unifying moment for the country. Rajnath Singh strengthens India-Russia naval ties. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh visited Russia to oversee the commissioning of an Indian naval warship built in collaboration with Russian shipyards. Singh emphasized the deep strategic partnership between India and Russia, particularly in defense. The visit comes amid geopolitical tensions and underscores India's commitment to modernizing its navy. The warship, equipped with advanced technology, represents a milestone in bilateral cooperation. Singh also held discussions on joint military exercises and technology transfers. Experts view the visit as a reaffirmation of India's balanced foreign policy amidst global rivalries. Rahul Gandhi criticizes tax policies and calls for billionaire accountability. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi slammed the government's tax hikes and concessions for billionaires, accusing it of neglecting the common man. In a fiery speech, Gandhi alleged that the current tax regime disproportionately benefits the wealthy while burdening the middle class. He called for transparency in government spending amid and greater accountability from billionaires receiving tax breaks. The ruling party dismissed Gandhi's remarks as political theatrics. Analysts suggest the issue may gain traction as economic inequality remains a pressing concern. Gandhi's comments are expected to shape upcoming parliamentary debates. Farmers protest against government policies at Delhi borders. Thousands of farmers from Punjab and Haryana gathered at Delhi's borders to protest government policies they say harm their livelihoods. The Chalo Delhi March highlights issues like rising input costs, unfair crop prices, and delayed subsidies. Talks with government officials have yet to yield results as farmers demand immediate action. The protests have garnered nationwide attention, with opposition leaders also voicing support. Authorities have tightened security at protest sites, but the demonstrations remain peaceful. Farmers vow to continue their agitation until their demands are met. And in international news, Syrian opposition forces claim Damascus and Assad's fate is uncertain. In a dramatic turn, Syrian opposition forces entered Damascus, signaling the collapse of President Bashar al-Assad's government. Reports suggest Assad has fled the country, though official confirmation is pending. Rebel forces captured key cities, including Homs and Aleppo, in a swift offensive. Opposition leaders pledged to form a transitional government while calling for international support. Iran, Assad's primary ally, has remained silent on the developments. Residents of Damascus reported gunfire and abandoned checkpoints, marking a historic moment in the 12-year conflict. Analysts predict a challenging path toward rebuilding the war-torn nation. And that's all for today's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in to Bharat News on Bharat TV. I'm Deepika Zucchi. Stay safe and we'll see you next time.